Good morning. Happy Thursday. Thanks for joining me here at the WITN at First Alert Desk. I'm Hannah Hutter, and I'll be bringing you your news and weather updates for this 10 o'clock hour. We are going to start first with some news out of Caswell County. Our North Carolina authorities say multiple people were shot and killed 30 lines west of Durham yesterday. Authorities say 3 people are dead and 1 is hospitalized, but the motive behind all of it remains unknown. We're going to send it to Bethany Cates, who has the latest for us.
I can confirm 4 people were shot. Three of them are deceased.
Several questions remain after a mass shooting Wednesday morning in Caswell County after deputies responded to Brooks Road in the Prospect Hill community around 8 a.m.
Deputies arrived on scene, found multiple people who had been shot.
Although Caswell County Sheriff's Department is leading the investigation, Sheriff Tony Durden Jr. says they immediately got the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation involved. He also added that all of the victims and suspected shooter were all adults and part of the same family.
The Caswell County Sheriff's Office has notified victims next of kin. We are not releasing those names at this time out of respect for the family.
You can see here in this video, investigators spent the day combing through crime scene evidence and conducting interviews. And the Caswell County Sheriff's Office says there was no evidence that law enforcement had previously responded to calls involving the family or if family members had previously reached out.
There is no threat to the general public.
Sheriff Durden says this investigation is still in the early stages. They are working to get more details. We're going to send things over now to meteorologist Jim Howard to give us a look at the forecast here this morning. Of course, we had those rain showers popping up in the earlier parts of this week as well as this past weekend, and some storms may be heading our way this afternoon. We'll send it over to Jim with the latest for us here.
Good morning, folks. I'm meteorologist Jim Howard, and this is your latest WITN First Alert forecast on this Thursday. It is August 6th, and as we head out the door, dry. Got a little patchy fog to start. Hot and muggy this afternoon. We're going to close in on a 90-degree high. We hit about 88 yesterday, 90 today, adding a few more degrees. Isolated afternoon storms. Isolated means there'll be a few, but not a lot. More of us will likely miss rain than get it today for a change. South wind at about 5 to 10. Again, muggy airflow coming up from the south. All right, a few storms yesterday morning or showers diminishing yesterday afternoon by 3, 4 o'clock. We were pretty quiet. We've stayed that way, transitioning the atmosphere into a quieter setup. Barometer coming up, pressure rising, so rain chances trending down for the next few days. There's the radar back at 4:30 a.m. Some offshore showers. They're staying out there. Rain chance this afternoon. Sea breeze shower or storm, 30%, maybe briefly 40%, 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. Again, I think more misses than hits on the rain chances. Let's track those showers. Through morning hours, pretty quiet. Late morning, midday, sea breeze sparks up a few showers and storms. They ride inland, 2, 3, 4 o'clock, 5, 6 o'clock. Falling apart, diminishing, done deal. Going to the overnight on a quiet note. Stay that way generally tomorrow. Air temps, muggy mid-70s. That was back pre-sunrise. Again, that breeze southerly to maybe southwesterly at about 5. Little pocket of fog here and there to start the day. Not widespread. No fog advisory, but a few of you dealing with that. Air temps into the afternoon. Near 90, I think, again, later today. Inland, beaches, mid to upper 80s. Near 90 for almost everybody, save the immediate coastline. You can see my 86 on the coast to 87. Surf temp 80. Rip current risk low to moderate. Outer Banks, Crystal Coast, a little bit of a higher risk to the south. Generally 2 to 3 foot waves, I'd say, out there as we go through the day. Maybe 1-footers down to the Crystal Coast. Southwest on the wind to southerly at about 10. Low tide 7:30 a.m. Come back to a high tide 2 o'clock this afternoon. All right, so the big map, stationary front's off the map. That front that was bringing the showers the last few days has fallen apart. So again, we're pretty quiet here. Maybe Sunday late afternoon, a storm or two comes back. That's the sea breeze later today, that green right there. Again, not much. Overnight quiet, tomorrow morning quiet. This front slows down into the weekend. Stray sea breeze storm again tomorrow, but I'm not seeing much, 20% or so. Put that green on there just in case. Watch this front just creep Saturday into Sunday, kind of stops over northern Virginia. Isolated afternoon shower, 20% Saturday. Late Sunday, front gets a little closer. It does slow down up here. We might get a little better rain chance late Sunday afternoon. And then Monday looks quiet as the front stalls up here to the north. Temperature low 90s, maybe some mid 90s into early next week. All right, tropics staying quiet. Nothing developing. Looks good off the southeast coast, the Gulf, the Caribbean. Nothing brewing. Same thing into the deeper Atlantic. All clear. No worries right now. And again, let's keep that rolling along as long as we can. Air temp today, we're near 90. Isolated PM storms. Rain chance around 30%. 20% Friday, Saturday. Not much rain. Isolated or a stray afternoon storm. 91 both days. 92 Sunday. Few storms into the afternoon, evening. Again, more misses than hits. Dry and hot Monday, Tuesday. Pushing some mid-90s in here. Wednesday, Thursday of next week, stronger front, better rain chance. Try to get back under 90 on Thursday.
All right, thank you, Jim, for that update for us here this morning. We're going to continue with the news side of things, heading over now to the latest in the Middle East. Iran says it's in the final stage of drafting an agreement with Oman over the Strait of Hormuz, and President Trump has said a deal could be announced this week that could potentially reopen the critical waterway, ease pressure on the world economy, and help bring an end to the war. But doubts that the agreement could be reached still remain. We have NBC's Keir Simmons, who's reporting from Qatar for us here this morning with the latest.
Hey there, things are on a knife edge here with President Trump saying that we should know soon. The Iranian Foreign Ministry saying that a draft agreement between Oman and Iran, so those are the two countries on either side of the Strait of Hormuz, is being reviewed. Now, that agreement will likely set out how the waterway should be managed. One controversial question is whether it will allow Iran to charge vessels for passing through that crucial shipping lane. The Trump administration has been clear that it is opposed to that. And of course, millions of Americans are waiting for news, knowing that whatever happens will have a real impact on how much you pay at the pump. Meanwhile, President Trump overnight saying that despite Iran's denials that it is in negotiations with the United States, that he was contacted by Iran over the past weekend and asked not to go forward with strikes on Iran that he says would be worse, and these are his words, than World War II. President Trump says Iran's nuclear capability will be addressed in a second stage, but Vice President Vance suggesting that it will be a slow process. In his words, it will be messy, and all of that assumes that we will get an announcement. It is also possible that they don't get to the finish line, and there are concerns here in the region that if that happens, then there will be another escalation this weekend. Guys?
All right, thank you, Keir, for that update for us this morning. One final story for you. Pope Leo met Oscar-winning actor Matthew McConaughey in St. Peter's on Wednesday. So McConaughey attended the Pope's weekly audience together with his wife. Following the audience, the Pope approached the two and McConaughey chatted briefly with the Pontiff before Leo moved on to greet others. McConaughey won an Oscar for Best Actor in 2014. His role in The Dallas Buyers Club was a variety of his roles, and I wonder if he said his infamous all right. I mean, the Pope has to know it, right? All right, well, that is all for our 10 o'clock news and weather updates here at the WITN First Alert Desk. I will be back at 11 o'clock with the latest in both news and weather for you. Until then, I hope everyone is enjoying their morning.